Hey guys, it's John back with another video, and I've decided to come outside where it's warm and sunny and where the hammock is, and the velociraptor style sounds you hear are the dog adds authenticity. Right, so I wanted to talk a little bit to you guys about how to spot a guru. So how do you spot one of these people that walks a walk and talks a talk, but in reality gets you nowhere very, very fast? Now, I've been giving it some thought over the last few days. I've been seeing a lot of it over the last few days on social media. I've been watching a lot of anti-guru videos over the last few days on social media. So I've nailed it down to a list of a few traits that I think you should watch out for. We'll see how many of those stick. Now, I think we'll have a bit of a game, you and I. We'll say that we need to score this out of 100. So I'm going to try and rattle off some like 10 or so traits that I think you should watch out for. And the higher the score, if you allocate 10 points to each trait, the higher the score, the more guru-ish the person is. Okay? So the first trait, number one, that I'm going to put out there is they've released a book. And not just one book, many books. They're almost prolific book writers. It's their second job. They write a book every 5 seconds, or they write a pamphlet, or they write a newsletter, or they write something, anything. And 9 times out of 10, they give that book or that information away for free. Now, you and I both know that if you're a proper professional, your information is expensive information. Your information needs to be given away at the right price, because in reality you've put a lot of effort and energy into that, and you should be rewarded. It's one of the first things you're taught when you become a business entrepreneur, is that IP, intellectual property, means everything. So why give away your IP? The reason why is because of a funnel. You're in essentially this funnel like well where you're being filtered out and filtered out and filtered out and filtered out. That's the first thing. They've got a book or a pamphlet. They've got as many as they could humanly write. And we all know there are a few gurus out there who write hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of books. And they're always at the top of Amazon. And I'm not being facetious there. I'm very, very much focused on the fact that it's nearly impossible to write a good planning book. My primary reader for planning was a book called Town and Country Planning in the UK, Cullingworth and Nadin, and they are on edition number 15 now. My 2 colleagues who are both doing planning masters courses, I'm reading Cullingworth and Nadin, and yeah, we're on edition 15. So that's the first one. They've got a book. So the next one is vlogging. Now, where do I start with this? I vlog, and I'm sure when you score me, because I want you to score me, I want to know how high I score. When you score me, you'll attribute 10 points to my vlog. Excellent, perfect, welcome that, good. But these gurus vlog every day. In fact, they could vlog every minute if they could, if their production teams that live behind them could absolutely keep up with production. And they will vlog about anything. They'll walk through the park, they'll go to a development site, they'll do a lot of different things. Now, I know some really good anti-gurus, some people in the world who do this, that aren't gurus. They don't present themselves as gurus, but it's on there on the list because it's something you should pay attention to. It's again part of that funnel, part of that drawing you in. Score me 10 points for having a vlog. Now the next one's a personal favourite. Have we ever seen this? You go to a property meeting, a property networking event, you sit down, headline speaker comes on, and they're trying to sell their course. And it starts off in the stratosphere. This course is £2,000. Just a figure, example, not naming any names. And then roughly the third slide, so they go through 2 slides of content in their presentation, and the third slide comes along, and miraculously they've had a change of heart. And the course has gone down in price. And you can count them roughly every third slide. There'll be another miraculous price change, another miraculous change of heart, a change of character, and suddenly you'll be down in the double digits. This course that started off at £2,000 is now £97 plus the VAT. That should be a big warning sign. If information is worth something, then it's worth something. If they're starting off their pricing structure at £2,000 and then miraculously by the end of the presentation that £2,000 course is worth £97 plus the VAT, then what's that information actually worth? Have a think about that when we move on to the next one. Okay, the next one's quite amusing. They're not a practitioner. Now, what do I mean by that? I'm a practitioner, so I am a property planning practitioner. I am a chartered town planner. I have a caseload. I'm working in it. If you want to look at my caseload, you can. I'll even tell you the authorities I'm working in right now, so you can see what I'm doing. I'm a practitioner. There are gurus, and I'm really struggling with that word today. I'm having to really force it out. There are gurus out there that aren't practitioners, that give advice and they don't practice. They preach. There's one in particular that I know of that I'm not going to name names on, who preaches. He's got a very compelling website and he preaches, but he doesn't practice. If you were to ask him to practice, he would get stuck. So focus on the people who are practitioners, not preachers. There's a great phrase, it comes from Jack Black's movie School of Rock: those who can teach, those who can't teach, teach gym. When you go to a guru who can't teach and can't do, you're effectively going to a gym teacher. Think about that. Multiple property strategies. I'm not going to phrase it any other way than that. Multiple property strategies. There's something very wrong with having multiple property strategies. And I'll go back to a favourite phrase of mine. Picasso said, learn the rules like a pro, break them like an artist. Now I rephrase that. My way of saying that is to play the game, you have to know the rules. In order to play the game well, you have to know where to break them, preferably when the referee isn't looking. Going back to my particular love of football. So, those who practice or preach multiple strategies are not encouraging you to learn one. They're not even encouraging you to learn one well. They're encouraging you to learn one badly. Because you cannot be a jack of all trades in property. You can learn strategies well as long as you learn them one after another, after another, after another. You can learn strategies badly if you try and scatter. We call it in the office new developers syndrome. So new developers syndrome is I can do everything everywhere. You can't. What works in Blackpool does not work in Bournemouth. Just because they have B at the start of their name and they're both coastal towns doesn't mean you can take Lancashire thinking and apply it to the South Dorset coast. It doesn't work. Different markets, different strategies. If your guru is dealing with multiple strategies or trying to encourage you down multiple pathways, how good is the education you're getting on any individual pathway? Specialize. Absolutely specialize. The next one is also a personal hatred of mine. Do as I do. Do as I do is basically them telling you to learn by rote, to repeat what they're doing. The problem is it doesn't work very well because we're all individuals. So when you adopt a do as I do approach to anything, you're not learning anything. All you're doing is you're learning a process that works for that person and not a process that works for you. You're learning the systems that work for that person, not the system that works for you. And we're all different. Before I trained as a geography teacher, before I trained as a planner, I trained as a geography teacher. Gave away the bit in the middle there. And we learned that there are 3 different types of learners: audio, visual, and kinesthetic. Audio learners learn by listening. Visual learners learn by seeing. Kinesthetic learners learn by doing. You can't treat everyone the same. I don't treat everyone the same. Everyone is different. Everyone's property development strategy is different. Everyone's aspirations are different. And so training on as a do as I do approach is treating everyone like a herd. We've had a lot of problems with herd mentality over the last few days. If you treat people like a herd, they'll treat you like a herd and they'll just follow you. And there have been a couple of really classic examples, certainly in the last couple of years, where the herd has gone, well, it's do as I do. So what we'll go and do is do exactly what the trainer's doing in the trainer's hometown. That worked. That worked really well, because suddenly you had hundreds of very similar developments occurring in exactly the same town as the trainer. Do as I do doesn't work. Off-siting. Now, off-siting can happen in 2 ways, right? There's off-siting in terms of you're on a social media platform and the guru wants to instantly send you somewhere else. So they want you to go and read a pamphlet on their own website. They want you to off-site from there to there. Now, I'm a little bit guilty of doing that because some concepts are just too complicated to put in 140 characters or less on Twitter, to put in a LinkedIn post, or to put in a Facebook feed. It's just too difficult. I'll do a video if I need to do that or whatever. So that's the first thing. Off-siting can be just sending someone somewhere else. Come and have a look at my website, it's groovy. Okay? Sometimes that's a good idea, but sometimes it's part of a funnel and we need to be aware of that. By all means, add 10 points for me. The other part of off-siting is where your training is off-sited. Now, what do I mean by that? That's when you outsource a lot of your training elsewhere. So one of the big things that I've been very conscious of during the COVID-19 crisis that we're still in, it's April when I'm recording this, of 2020, is that I needed to maintain as much of the face-to-face interaction as possible. People who bought into the training that we produce have bought into me as an entity, and therefore I owe them some of me. I owe them back. You know, that's part of who I am. So I need to give that back. However, I have seen, and there are some very big business mentors that do this, a lot of their training being off-sited to other trainers. So you don't get the person you've bought into, you get Jeff. And Jeff comes along. Now, a couple of really good other vlogs by CoffeeZilla and Mike Winnett have identified this as well as part of their sort of models of the guru mentality. That's not good business. People have bought into you, just like they've bought into me. If you're not delivering what they've bought into, then what is the point of you? That's the next one. Have you heard this? Guarantee to make you a 7-figure sum in a year. Or, I guarantee you'll get your first deal. Or, I guarantee you'll have a functioning business at the end of 30 days. Promising the earth, delivering very little. Now, for those who know me, I never promise anything. And I never promise anything for a reason. And the reason is that I can't. Planning is one of those parts of the world where you can't promise. You cannot guarantee an outcome. We do not have a crystal ball. My cars do not go 88 miles an hour. They don't have a flux capacitor installed. I can't see the future. And because I can't see the future, I can't promise. I can't deliver the earth because I can't promise the earth. All I can do is best endeavours. So, gurus that promise the earth are basically giving fake platitudes to something that's incredibly complicated, especially the property development game. You know, there's people who promise the earth on sourcing, and sourcing is incredibly complicated to get right. One of my good friends is a property sourcer. He's one of my clients as well, and he knows how hard it is. It's not possible, in my view, for a guru to turn around and say, I will make you a millionaire. I will make you financially free. I will deliver you this. Because actually you don't know that person at that point. At that point of promise, you don't know them, and you don't know them enough. I was debating which one to do last, and I kind of like this one. The people don't live in the world of the real. Now, you can call this what you want. Fake it to make it. Or dream big, die small. But in reality, most of the gurus don't live in the world of the real. They live in their own world. They live in a world where a 20 square meter flat is acceptable. They live in a world where an office to resi development can be completely stress-free. They live in a world where HMOs are passive. They live in a world where money just flows and happens because it's an energy. I think I've given enough quotes there. The big thing for me is that planning lives inside the world of the real. We have to know that when we're putting a planning application in, you're going to be able to build it. You're going to be able to fund it. You're going to be able to develop it. Because at the end of the day, you're putting your faith, your trust in us to get you that consent. And that's the important thing. So gurus that don't live in the world of the real, that live in the world of the theoretical, and there are those as well, who just live in the world of theory rather than the world of practice. I don't do anything theoretical in practice. It's too dangerous to do anything with my clients in theory. I'll do everything in practical, and I'll have done it because I know it's been done before. That's my last sort of safety buffer. I think we've all seen those. Absolutely score me. I'd love to know in comments, where do I come? Yeah, how many points do I get? I think I'm on about 20, but that's just me being me. If I'm being overly optimistic there, let me know. If you think this video has been helpful, absolutely smash the like button, hit subscribe. You'll be updated when the next one comes out. And a big shout out to people I respect. Mike Winnett over at his channel, CoffeeZilla over at his channel, exposing the fake gurus of this world. I've been John McDermott, the anti-guru. I kind of like that now. I'll see you on the next one. Smash like, subscribe. Catch you soon.